Welcome. Let's focus on the next edition for Kurukshetra March, and this basically focuses on the rural allocations of the union budget, specifically in the various dimensions. So, Atmanirbhar Bharat, which is the self-reliant India, has been the foremost motive, and under that, the allocations have been done into the farm and the non-farm sectors in the rural area. So, Economic Survey actually talked about the consistency in the economic growth in India and the slowdown in the global manufacturing competitiveness with disruptions in the supply chain, and therefore it's important to understand good allocations and the developmental push areas. So budget has talked about three major pillars: economic growth, infrastructure and social welfare, with more focus on a kind of streamlined development policies for self-reliance and social welfare, which would include innovation, technology and sustainability along with good governance. So the allocations across the various sectors have been important. And what is the increase over the previous year allocations? For examples, rural development nearly 6% increase, MSME 5% increase, agriculture around 4%, women and child around 3% increase in the allocation, which is significant figures. And similarly, we have seen allocation increase for fertilizer subsidies, for agricultural activities, health, social welfare, education and fertilizer subsidies. Now the first important thing that we would talk about is employment. So through the Manrega, 100 days of guaranteed employment in the rural area. Then you have the Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana, which is the National Rural Livelihood Mission. Both of them would continue to receive funding from the center, and the expansion of the self-employment initiatives have been important. Now, when we are talking about Manrega jobs, what is important? The design standards, the selection of sites, the project accuracy, how the resources would be allocated, the skills that would be developed during this time are some of the key components that have been taken into account. But at the same time, there are numerous challenges that focus on unemployment, lower wages, no proper opportunities, lack of jobs, Industry 4.0, which is causing job losses, then migration from rural to urban areas. The next important sector under the rural area which needs priority is housing. So under the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Gramin, there has been 0.6% increase in the allocation, addressing specifically to socially disadvantaged groups for safe housing, sanitation and basic amenities, and providing special attention to vulnerable sections, SC/STs and women-headed households. The next is the focus on food processing industries, with micro food processing enterprises receiving nearly 5% increase in the allocation. The key priorities includes the food processors, the modern technologies that have been adapted, improving the quality and upscaling the business operations. The next sector is dairy and fishery. Now again, bringing in better technology, training and financial assistance, better cold chain infrastructure, cooperative societies like Amul model to be replicated, Nandini model to be replicated. So these are some of the important aspects for food security, dairy security. Providing startups, so funds for startups and fund for startups would be established with nearly 10,000 crores, and bringing in better schemes for development. Now, these schemes would provide loans up to 2 crores in the next 5 years and would enhance entrepreneurship training to develop India as a global toy hub and ensure that the toys are exported at cheaper rates than China. Also focusing on skill building, innovation and better investments in the manpower. So rural prosperity and resilience program is one which has been started. Then you have education, which is the Samragya Shiksha Abhiyan, the skill development under PM Vishwakarma Yojana. So these are some of the major sections under which development, the social welfare activities take place. Then we have the Kisan Samman Nidhi Yojana, that is through a mobile portal, and this would help in better and faster KYC processing. And then there are Kisan E-Mitra to address the concerns of the farmers efficiently. MSMEs, the job creation under MSMEs are important, and targeting regional MSMEs. For example, it could be a sugar based MSME in the regions of Uttar Pradesh and Maharashtra. It could be agro based industries in the regions of Gujarat. So those specific industries would help the development of regional level. For example, bamboo could be one of the MSMEs in the regions of Meghalaya, with more bamboo industries and bamboo handicrafts coming in. Then the irrigation, soil health cards, soil management, organic farming, agroforestry as some of the major initiatives for the farmers, providing them fertilizer subsidies, focusing on organic fertilizers, water management, drip irrigation, focusing on agriculture which is more climate resilient, so climate resilient crops, and particularly the rain fed areas or the drought prone areas, how agriculture could be improved in those areas is again important. Now for the rural economy, numerous schemes have been brought up, which starts from the Kisan Credit Card Yojana, then Pradhan Mantri Dhanya Krishi Yojana for seed usage, boosting the production of cotton, pulses, fisheries, also increasing in the income for saving, investment, consumption, revising the tax revenues and the expenditure. Then there is a slow pace of development which has been forecasted for the initial financial year, and this is lower than the past 3 years. However, there have been regular efforts to focus on that, but there have been global turmoils, global policy changes, which includes tariffs, reciprocal tariffs, the protectionist measures by various countries, the Federal Reserve instance of the US, which are creating a huge upheaval in the global market. And this has led to instability not only in the domestic markets of India, but the markets globally. So it's a time which we can actually see as a golden opportunity to stimulate growth and actually boost production or the agro-driven industries in the rural area. Then bringing in fiscal stability is very, very important. So income tax relief is one such way forward. Prioritizing capital expenditure could be another way forward. And for the businesses, ease of doing business is really, really important. And this would ensure that there is FDIs coming in, foreign investments coming in, and the business operations, even for the domestic people, becomes easy. The employment opportunity grows, and ultimately the economy grows. To strengthen the rural areas, the rural agricultural sector, the budget has allocated nearly 1 lakh crores for the farmers, which marks an increase of nearly 1,000 crores compared to the previous year's budget. And the revised expenditure for agricultural sector has been way up from the previous allocations. So all those statistics have been up there. The credit card loans for the Kisans, for the farmers, have increased from 3 to 5 lakh, and it is expected that nearly 7.75 crore farmers would benefit out of it. Government also provides a 2% interest subsidy on the loan which is taken through the Kisan Credit Card Yojana. Then there has always been a focus on boosting the farmers' income. Now this would be implemented in a mission mode with ideas to enhance the various seed varieties, focus on climate resilient cropping with more rugged crops that could be grown in difficult terrains, insect resistant varieties to be brought in, and cotton varieties with longer fiber so that they can give in better yield to the farmers. So we also have started a cotton technology mission to boost the cotton production. Also there has been the National Agricultural Cooperative Marketing Federation that would ensure and procure the grams and lentils from the registered farmers for the next 4 years and would support the purchase and the storage of these crops. Also there is the sale of Bharat Atta, which has become one of the popular means, along with Bharat rice, Bharat chickpea, Bharat lentils, which would be a response to curb the rising inflation. India has a lot of imports of pulses from the countries Myanmar, Australia, Russia and Canada to meet the domestic demands. Despite being one of the largest producers and consumers, we are still importing pulses, and steps to reduce this are really, really important. The next is fishery production. So there are special economic zones being established for seafood production that is highly valued. India has the second largest production of aquaculture and fisheries, and this sector can actually bring in better returns to Indian coastal areas and the fishermen. The next is the empowerment of women. So under this scheme, nearly 8 crore children, 1 crore pregnant and lactating mothers, and 20 lakh adolescent girls from the northeast regions would be benefited. Then there would be schemes like Saksham Anganwadi, Poshan 2.0 mission. Females from SC/STs would be eligible for loans up to 2 crores. Again, for betterment of the poor, there are schemes like PM Sunidhi Yojana, Swanidhi Yojana, and these provide microcredit for street vendors, schemes for loans up to 10,000 for their vending Larry to go on. And then you have various challenges for the rural areas. The one which is very, very important is the logistic hubs. The new entrepreneurs, if they want to start in, the logistics become very, very costly and time consuming if there is no proper infrastructure through and through. So leveraging the post office's help to fulfill this infrastructural requirement and promoting infrastructural development in the next 5 years would be one of the ways forward to ensure that the rural areas, which are real drivers of growth, are well connected to the urban areas, so that the supply chain moves in a more streamlined manner, right? So if we talk about the share of exports for MSMEs, this has increased in the last few years. The growth has been seen for startups. The budget has proposed a dedicated new fund for the startups with an allocation of 1 crore. Now this would provide easy funding, easy loan sanctions, better employment opportunities, and credit guarantees to new startups that want to get in. They would get tax exemptions under the Department of Promotion for Industries and Internal Trade, and the eligible startups can get up to 100% income tax exemption for the next 3 years. So this would ensure more employment in the startups in the early areas. And of course, we have seen the increase in the startups significantly by nearly 3 times in the period of 4 years. The loan for MSMEs, specifically for the micro and small industries, have been increased from 2 crores to 5 crores with an additional 50,000 crore to be allocated over the next 5-year term. So these are some of the important aspects. Then there are certain financial measures which have been taken for women entrepreneurs. For example, there have been various aspects which have been brought. The first union budget was presented by R.K. Shanu Mukham Chetty, and since then there has been a recent development. Now this focuses on the idea of empowering women, focusing on how gender budget provides a very important role in bringing in gender equality, and the proper budgeting approach would help us focus on the social issues. So addressing malnutrition, Saksham Anganwadi, as we said, then Matru Vandan Yojana, education policies, nutrition and income, Jal Jeevan Mission as water availability as some of the important ideas. Then there is an annual periodic labor survey which tracks the employment trends in the workforce patterns, specifically for the women. Namo Drone Didi Yojana is another such a scheme which is actually important. And again, we have a set of statistics here. You can go through these statistics. This would be available in the handout on Examrace for free. So this would help you understand the importance and help you write those in your mains answer writing, right? Now, Mission Shakti has 2 components, Sambal and Samarth. So under the Samarth, there is Shakti Sadan, Shakti Nivas, Palna, and Matruvandan Yojana. Under the Sambal, it is one-stop centers, women helpline, Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, and Nari Adalat. So those are some of the works that have been done. Then female labor force participation rate and contribution to economic growth has been important. Entrepreneurship has remained mainly male dominated. So there has been an instance to promote female entrepreneurs, and specific allocations have been made for the same. Healthcare and improving the health for the vulnerable section is again one of the major targets through the various schemes like Arogya Mandir, Bharat Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana, Ayushman Bharat, health infrastructure, and Bharat Digital Mission. For the medical expansion, the idea is to bring in new medical colleges, and nearly 10,000 new medical seats have been introduced countrywide, with 75,000 medical seats that would be available in the next 5 years. So definitely this would address the shortage of doctors, better healthcare infrastructure, better institutions for medical research, and strengthening institutions like AIMS and allied institutions. So again, then there are daycare cancer centers in the district hospital which are affordable, provides early diagnosis, are decentralized and reduce the burden. Social security platforms for online workers like eShram portal, Jan Arogya Yojana, health coverage, pension, job security are some of those. And then medical tourism. Now, medical tourism is one such field that government is trying to expand under the healthcare to attract international patients to with better public-private cooperation, streamlined visa process, better healthcare infrastructure, and this would ultimately bring in better foreign exchange for the country. For vegetables and fruits, there has been a comprehensive program. Shri Anna Millet Yojana is one such a scheme. Then expanding the production capabilities for agricultural techniques, FPOs to be built up. Also, there have been exemptions on life-saving medicines. 36 life-saving drugs are fully exempted from customs duty. 6 additional are available at reduced custom duty of 5%. Bulk drugs would be used in the production of life-saving medicines are exempted from duty, and this would reduce the cost of treatment, provide better essential medical facilities to everyone, and of course enhance the R&D in the pharma sector in India. In the agricultural sector, the basic idea is to strengthen the sector itself, to improve the farmers' income, bring in sustainability in agriculture, better productivity, better infrastructure, better credit opportunities, and through the various schemes that we have already discussed, this can be actually made true. One such important scheme is the Grameen Credit Score. Now, this is a scheme for bringing in financial inclusion, focusing on assessing the credit worthiness, better formal credit to be provided to farmers, and this would reduce the dependence on the informal lending system, which actually costs and charges higher rates to illiterate farmer in many cases. Then there are developments like Makhana board. This board has been built in Bihar for the chestnut production. The processing, value addition and marketing for the makhanas or the chestnut have been important. The urea plant has been set up in the region of Assam. High yielding seeds have been introduced under a new national mission to have better production and better varieties. Also, to expand the coverage, there have been various improvements that have been done and are ongoing, and there are constant synergies between various programs like Swachh Bharat Jal Jeevan Mission with integrated wash schemes, wastewater treatment, capacity building and local development as some of those programs. Now, the comparative analysis across the various programs is given, ranging from Jal Jeevan Mission, Swachh Bharat Mission, urban and rural sanitation, waste collection. These schemes have been important. Their contribution have been significant in the rural areas, and then there are allocations with the ideas to build better capacity, have more PPP models come in with more budgetary allowances in the government that could actually lead into better results. Then the new education policy has been an important shift with the idea of promoting high quality education. This aims to enhance rural education importantly, focusing on the childhood education, vocational training and technology integration. And over the years we have seen that the digital education has been promoted, access has been given for Divyang students, and educational planning has been important. AI was introduced in 1956 by McCarthy at Dartmouth College, and now it has been widely used throughout various fields including education and health sector. So with this, technology driven careers under AI could bring in opportunities for the youth, and AI for all is one of the ideas through which the technology could be leveraged for better development, and this could be brought in as a holistic part of syllabus and curriculum as well. So under new education policy, we are trying to enhance education with new subjects including AI, design thinking, holistic education and others. Its use in education has increased for grading, assessment, monitoring, support learning, educational administration, and the ambition for AI under the union budget has been important, with a special allocation for AI Center for Excellence to be established. immersive technologies like VR, AR to be brought in. Then Vidya Samiksha Kendra to be started. That would be operational in various districts under the Rashtriya Vidya Samiksha Kendra. Students' data from 20 different states would be linked to it. Diksha Portal, the Unified District Information System for Education, are some other ways through which education would be brought into and development would be seen in the field of education. And then, as we have seen, the structural empowerment is important. So, geographical schemes or geography based schemes are really important, focusing on specific areas and the specific requirements. As we said, makhana board in the regions of Bihar, urea plant in the regions of Assam. So those targeted projects would actually bring in better results and better implementation. And then of course the schemes that we have focused on and their developments have brought in numerous improvements, but still there are challenges which are openly seen from the sections on climate change or from the investments in the budget, reduced budgets in certain segments. Then there are the production or the cold chain mechanisms that are not working efficiently in many cases, and more importantly the efficiency and productivity of farmers, stopping the rural to urban migration so that development could be seen in the rural areas. And once the development is there in the rural areas, automatically this rural to urban migration trend would get reversed. So those are some of the important aspects that we have covered under this Yojana. In this Kurukshetra edition, we'll be covering Yojana Kurukshetra down to earth on a regular basis. So stay subscribed on the channel for more information. Of course, the handouts are available on examrace.com in the current affairs section for free, so don't miss those. Have a great day ahead.